Alright, it is late on Thursday night, and I just wanted to do a little bit of an introduction to Draven. This champion was just talked about, obviously, on the official League of Legends webpage. It was also just released on the public beta environment, which is where I'm playing him. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about his abilities and what I've noticed about his abilities, things that might not seem obvious from the tooltips that you might have read, and just a couple cool things about it. So let me go ahead and jump right. So let's jump into a few of Draven's abilities here. His passive, Wicked Blades. Draven's critical strikes deal 54 bonus physical damage over 4 seconds. Spinning Axe also causes its effect even if it does not critically strike. So Spinning Axe is his Q ability. That's going to be the next one that I cover here. So this is just basically bonus damage every time he crits, but every time he uses a Spinning Axe, and a Spinning Axe is going to be happening all the time. Since it happens over 4 seconds, it's going to be active. I mean, it's going to persist. And you're going to be refreshing it most likely if you're using a Spinning Axe or if you have a high amount of crit. You're going to be refreshing it pretty frequently. It's significant damage, but it's not that significant damage. But it is a nice chunk of extra damage that you're dealing with it. So moving on to his Spinning Axe, this is the Draven's next attack will deal 54 bonus physical damage. This bonus is equal to 65% of his total attack, whatever. This axe will ricochet off the target high up into the air. If Draven catches it, he automatically readies another Spinning Axe. Okay, so here's the first thing I noticed about this ability. Draven's next attack will deal 54 bonus physical damage. When you see a next attack ability, in most cases, in fact this is one of the few that don't jump to mind, in most cases that means you are automatically resetting, or you're resetting the swing timer when you use it. Which is to say, if you use it right after a normal attack, you'll do it again really quick. Spinning Axe is not that way. This actually is. You have to wait the full duration before you do your normal attack. So here's an example real quick.
I have the best job.
So I still had to wait. Now what you just saw there, that little aura on the ground, the little Paladin WoW looking aura, Warcraft 3 looking aura on the ground, that is where the axe is going to land. So this guy is all about, at least for using his Q ability, all about going to where the axe is going to land. So let's go ahead and do that again, and let me actually avoid it.
Let's do this.
So that time I didn't go where the axe was going to land. Now if you see she had a dot on her, Sivir had a dot on her, that means that the Q, Spinning Axe, proc the passive, right? Just what we were saying. Anyway, if you don't land, if you are not standing where that axe comes back down, when it ricochets back up into the air, you're not going to refresh it. But if you do, let's do this again. It's now automatically refreshed. Now that's the next thing you'll notice here. Now the first few times I've shown an example here, it's actually come right back onto me. But it doesn't always come right back onto you. It's a little area around you that it can come back onto. So what you just saw right there is it went over here. So to be a really good Draven player, if you want to keep picking up that axe, if that's important to you, you're going to have to be kind of watching for where it's going to come down, and you have to move to it. With minions, anything like that, it can be a little more difficult. So this is it's an interesting mechanic. I don't know if it's a good mechanic. I don't know if it's a fun gameplay mechanic, but it's certainly it's a little more of a complex mechanic than we've seen on a lot of attack damage carry. Okay, so here we go. That's the Q. Now here's the other thing about the Q, and this is something people aren't probably going to notice right away. Okay, so let's say I'm going to, in fact, it's hard to show going towards somebody because I don't have them moving. My wife, who normally would control this character, is actually upstairs putting our son to sleep. So I can't really show it this way, but let's just see if I could.
I don't do so.
Okay, perfect. It actually does show. Okay, so what you just saw there, as I'm moving forward, now here's the thing, here's what I just showed you. Because I'm moving forward, when I throw this next axe, it actually puts it in the path as though I was going to keep moving forward. When you're chasing, that's a good thing. Now check this out.
Places to go.
Let's see if I can.
To see.
When you're fleeing, it does the same thing. Okay, so why is that important? Because of the Q, auto attack range, whatever. Why is that actually important? Let's get into his next ability. His next ability is Blood Rush. Draven gains 40% increased movement speed for 1.5 seconds and 20% increased attack speed for 3 seconds. The movement speed bonus decreases rapidly over its duration. Catching a spinning axe will refresh the cooldown of Blood Rush. Okay, so check this out. And hopefully I don't run out of mana doing this, but check this out.
Something need killing?
Okay, I'm going to activate this. I can activate it again. I can activate it again. Okay, so anyway, the interesting thing about Blood Rush, this is a 40% increased movement speed. That's rank 1. I believe it goes up to like 60% at max rank. So here's the thing. He does not move all that fast. He moves decently fast, but he's not like a crazy fast champion. But with his W, if you keep stepping on these axes, all of your Qs, if you keep catching them, and you keep being able to refresh Blood Rush, you're going to have a 60% increased movement speed for a long time. And that's not just for chasing someone down, like I showed you because of the way his spinning axe works. It also allows you to escape, because that spinning axe will still land in your path along your escape route. Now, even when you're escaping or chasing, the spinning axe does have a little bit of variance that I've seen. I could be wrong on that, but from what I've seen, it looks like it does have a little bit of variance. So you may have to step to the side and actually pick it up actively. It won't always be directly in your path like it was in these examples. Another interesting thing about the Q is that you won't lose the stacks when you're attacking towers. Now, it won't bounce back, it won't deal any extra damage, but the stacks will actually stay on you, and so you can use them immediately after you're done with the structure that you're attacking. Alright, so there's one more cool thing about his Q. Let's go ahead and fire it out, but let's keep catching it. I don't want to kill her, so...
Something need killing?
Okay, so here's the thing about Q, and here's what you just watched and why it was important to wait until I was able to activate the ability a second time. He can have 2 stacks of his Q on him, meaning he has 2 buffs of it. Coincidentally, he happens to be holding 2 axes. So here's how this works. If you are throwing out an axe with an auto attack, and then it's flying back in the air, and you throw out another auto attack, the next auto attack you do while it's flying back up in the air is just a normal auto attack. But with 2 of these buffs, you have 1 on reserve, so you throw 1, and then while it's coming back in the air, you can throw your next auto attack, and that will also be a spinning axe. You do have to be a little more antsy, obviously, about picking them up, but it is pretty easy to get to that point. If you just pick the axe up a couple times, like 2 or 3 times, you're going to be, and that's without cooldown reduction, you're going to be at that point where you've got 2 of them up at a time, and you're going to be able to do a little bit better. It's like a breakout game, right, where you've got 2 balls on the field, and yeah, that's, I don't know, that's the interesting thing I noticed about Q. Our trusty Sivir is back, carefully navigated here. Okay. And Baron is up, so we had to move a little bit out of the Baron cubbyhole. Okay, so now let's look at his next ability, which is Stand Aside. Draven throws his axes, dealing 70 plus 8 physical damage, 80 ratio, whatever, physical damage to targets hit and knocking them aside. Targets hit are slowed by 20% for 2 seconds. Okay, pretty simple ability. There is not much to this. There you go. That's all there is to it. It does, from what I've seen, knock people out of channeled ability, so you've got that Katarina coming in, you've got that whoever coming in. It will knock them out of channeled abilities, but, again, it's just a minor CC. It does have that slow attached to it. Yeah. I mean, you've got to use it well, but it's pretty straightforward. It will knock them to either side, though. I mean, it's just which way the blades go out. Okay, let's get into his ultimate, Whirling Death. Draven hurls 2 massive axes to deal 175 plus 80 ratio physical damage to each unit struck. Whirling Death slowly reverses direction and returns to Draven after striking enemy champion. Draven may also activate this ability while the axes are in flight to cause it to return early. Deals 8% less damage for each unit hit. This is pretty standard for all these global ultimates like Ezreal's, or actually just a lot of abilities, period. Deals 8% less damage for each unit hit, minimum 40% damage, resets when the axe is reversed direction. Okay, so here I'm just going to show this to you in quick form. This is going to be real close range. This is a global ultimate. But let's go ahead and show it real close range. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this out, and then after it hits her, you'll see it return to us. Okay, Now the cool thing about this, it gives vision and everything along its path, just like Ashe's arrow, just like Ezreal's ultimate, which, I forgot what that's called, which I shouldn't have. But anyway, cool thing about this is it goes all the way out, but then when it returns, it resets its damage. It's not saying when that... It's the wording is a little ambiguous. Deals 8% less damage for each unit hit and resets when the axe is reverse direction. What it's saying is it resets the damage when the axe is reverse direction, which means you're going to deal whatever damage you hit on that champion or whatever, and then when you come back, you're going to deal it, unless you hit like a unit that's on the way back before you hit that champion again, you're going to deal the full damage, full potential damage of the ability. So you're actually dealing the damage of this ability twice. Although you can either going there or coming back. If you hit a bunch of units on the way, it's going to deal less damage, whatever. Alright, so now I want to show you a little bit about what this ultimate actually looks like. Let's go ahead and fire it all the way up here, and I've got a little surprise for my whirling axes here. So it is truly a global ultimate. It does give me vision everywhere along the path. It is dealing damage to everything along its path. It is a... I don't know, it's not too different from Ashe or Ezreal. If you're good with them, or if you occasionally get those really lucky skill shots or whatever, you might like this champion. Because it is kind of in that same vein. But it's not Vayne, because Vayne's an entirely different champion with nothing like this. Alright, so I'm going to try something just a little bit silly here, but let's see if this actually works. I'm going to fire it all the way across the map. Now I'm going to teleport down here. Let's see if I get here. Oh, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Zigzag across the whole map. Alright, and with that, I'm just going to go ahead and leave some clips at the end of this of me playing against bots. Of course, I will do a whole lot more ability testing once a champion releases, once I get to work on that Don't Feed. We do still have the Darius Don't Feed coming up, so pay attention to that over the weekend. It should be out before Draven releases on live servers. Thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys enjoy the new champion, or at least the concept for the new champion.
This is out of move.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. You have slain the
Places
enemy.
to go, me to see. Don't be jealous. No following these
An
footsteps.
ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Back. Too easy. Watch and learn. I'll take that. Here we go.
You have slain an enemy.